Hello and welcome. It's again time to have a conversation with the Earth, Tuesday noon.
Hello, Karina and Earth.
Hello, Marianne. And I would like to start with going back to conversation we had yesterday, where we
Yes.
stumbled across an idea, and it'd be fun to explore this a little bit more. And the idea was, what if we bless plants, bless animals, bless our body, for heaven's sake?
Yeah.
Because the body that we have is off the earth. And I played with that yesterday, and it was really, really fascinating to notice how my body responded to being blessed.
Tell
To
us
really
more.
just have, I need to lift up my arms. Let's get the watch out of the thing. But just doing this, saying, thank you, body. I bless you. I appreciate you. I mean, whatever works for you to express a blessing. And it was sort of like my body was doing a sigh of relief and appreciation. you know. So, have you given it some more thought, Marianne, or do you have any questions for our listeners?
I can say, Karina, that conversation yesterday, it was also up in my world because for first, I said it yesterday that word blessing and be blessed, it brought up certain things like for me, the word blessing is more directed to religion
Mm-hmm.
as in church they bless. So when we went along with our conversation, I got more afterwards also that the blessing or the energy when you were speaking about blessing, that it is for me a lot of energy of gratitude and
Mm-hmm.
acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Also acknowledgement. And as you, for me, it was this morning when I woke up.
Mm-hmm.
It was really present with my body. And I do it every morning. But this morning, I was really also present with that energy of what is this really blessing?
Mm-hmm.
Show me.
Yeah.
And being present there, and only that, even before I touched my body, but being present in question, what is this? I could perceive my body also reacting differently, like more it was saying, so, finally.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, there is something shifting.
Yeah.
Not yet sure what it is, but yeah, another shift in awareness, in being present, in
Mm-hmm.
receiving.
Yeah.
Oh, oh,
What?
it was the first time. Wow, this is the opposite. It was the first time I allowed my body to receive me. What the heck?
Wow. Yeah.
Wow, what the heck? Speaking about separation, how much I did there, still, even as I say it every morning, being gratitude with my body, touching it and asking what I could contribute. But now being aware and acknowledging that, wow, but even I separated in
Yeah.
that even myself from my body, and I didn't allow my body to receive me. Wow, that was the shift. Thank you, Karina, for asking.
Whoa. Yeah. That, I mean, I get it. It makes perfect sense. And it still is a wow because it's with all these conversations and with looking what can the earth teach us, what I'm seeing is we're diving deeper and deeper into certain areas that at best we have looked at from a surface level.
Yeah. That's my experience also. Yeah.
So it's really, I'm stoked in a way. I'm grateful that we're willing to stick with the subject, as crazy as it may seem for a lot of
Yeah.
people. But there is so much to be had
Yeah.
if you're really willing to dive into that pool.
Yeah, and it makes me also really aware, present aware with what we consider that we get already. As though, like, we spoke different times about gifting, receiving.
Yeah.
But now with this, what happened, the shift is really another layer as, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I really was in that idea of I am, and I am contribution. I know that. And I am receiving more. I know that also. But you see, another layer comes and saying, yeah, but still you didn't really allow the earth or body receiving me. So how many judgment do I have there?
How,
Hide.
yeah, how many separations do we have? And what I'm realizing is us being willing to have conversations about it. As a sudden memories come up that I wouldn't necessarily say are triggered by me, because like
Yeah,
yesterday, for me, a memory came up in the conversation, which
yeah,
went into that whole blessing conversation then. But what if consciousness and the earth being willing to have them as instructors, as teachers, however, being open to that, how much are they pulling those memories up because they know there is something for us to be had where we can dive into?
yeah, yeah,
And in ways that we have, I mean, it's not the first time that I've had that memory from childhood where I was walking on the trail and having my hands out like this and blessing the plants. Uh, it's not the first time I had that memory. Not even recently, I've had that memory, but I've never had it go into that depth and into that different layer or whatsoever. And it's also what strikes me is because that just pops is we also talked recently about compartmentalizing and how much
yeah,
do we compartmentalize, but that means we have walls up that we
yeah,
are not even aware of because we need walls to create the compartments.
yeah. And can I say something more about yesterday's conversation and that memory was why we stepped into that blessing energy, allowing ourselves to step in there, because you spoke also about a problem with your skin dryness,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
it was in that movement that you showed me how you can calm down the itches or the edges,
Yeah.
like that. And it came directly after sharing that memory,
Mhm.
memory. So there was, for me, I could perceive there from, wow, yes, there is a similar energy. So what do you, from knowing, and what do we all sometimes from a knowing, but by not being present by that compartmentalization aspect we function from, we really don't go into the receiving of the teaching.
Yeah. Yeah. We stay in the, you see, what I'm becoming aware right now is we're staying in a linear progression. This is what I'm talking about, therefore,
Yeah.
instead of the teaching we received yesterday, that was totally nonlinear.
Yeah. And this brings now up also a memory of childhood. And it was walking on bare feet on the grass and laying really on the grass. I loved it to do, and playing with the grass. But I wasn't allowed. My mom, when she saw it, she became crazy. And I needed to put on something, whatever it was, but I couldn't walk barely. And I couldn't lay down into the grass because of the insects, because of.
Yeah.
And I never got that. But now, being also present with that memory and the energy we speak about, what was I being there with the earth that I, up till now, even not even acknowledged? It was something I was being. I did it, but it was also being. So, I'm asking now, earth and universe.
Yeah.
I'm ready to receive that. It's time to acknowledge.
And you sharing this brought up a memory that, for instance, my mother would not sit down on a rock, in the grass, on the sand, without my dad putting his jacket down, because otherwise she would get dirty.
Yeah.
And I mean, just looking at the implications of that point of view, the earth is dirty.
Yeah.
Is the earth really dirty? And how much does the earth is dirty make actually my body being off the earth dirty? And I know that my mother had no connection to her body.
Yeah. But this brings so much up, Karina, talking about our mothers, how they went with the dirty side. How we weren't allowed to play. And I remember my second son, he loved when he was crawling and, really young, but he loved to eat the soil, really.
Which is actually good for you.
Yeah, but he loved it, and I allowed him. But my mom couldn't see, and it was so bad, and he would be sick. He's rarely sick, but that was the point of view. How could you allow this? And I said, yeah, but afterwards we wash the clothes, or we giving him a bath, and it's done.
Yeah.
It's done. But he loved it, to sit with his hands in the dirt and then really eating. Even the plant, the earths of the plants in the room, the inside. He loved it all.
Yeah.
And I couldn't imagine how it was, because I couldn't remember something like that, because we weren't allowed. Even though my dad, he how does it call, baton, how do you say it in English? It's with sand and baton.
Concrete in English.
Yeah. Okay. So he prepared that, and so where he was doing it, and we loved it, me and my brothers and sisters, to go and play there. But when she saw that, whoa, then it was a big problem. So we grow up more and more Because when you play, you can't sit on the ground because you are dirty. You can't play because you become dirty.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, what an impregnation, Karina. As you say, our bodies are from the elements of earth. Considered earth is dirty, is bad, is something you can't have. So indirectly, we learn that our bodies are bad, that our bodies are dirty, that our bodies, we can't have
Yeah.
joy even. We can't have joy with our bodies.
The fun of rolling in the mud.
Yeah,
Not
and
that I have
playing
done
in the
it,
rain.
because I would have had
Yeah, but
some problems.
that brings me also to the memory when we went to the beach, and it was not often, but the feet in the sand, for so long I couldn't bear it, because I didn't knew any longer what the feeling was being in contact with the sand, with the water, the mud. I didn't know any longer. So what the heck? Yes, this came also there from.
Yeah. The sand squishing out, the wet sand squishing out between your toes.
Yeah, yeah. Now I'm
Yeah.
glad that I love it again.
Mm-hmm.
But it is wow.
And how much are we passing on in that way? You know, viewpoints that are relatively recent in a way, because if I go back, I would go back to the middle age, even 1700. You know, here in the US, exploring the West, you were out in nature, you were dealing with nature, and you were cognizant about nature. And even in Europe, you were cognizant about nature, because if you harvest it, is it gonna rain? If you mow grass for the winter feed, you don't want to try to dry it in the rain. So you watched out, you looked up, and how's the weather going to develop? What's
Yeah.
going on? There was a connection with the earth, even if it may not have been as intimate as it could have been. It still was there,
Yeah.
you know. And how much have we lost that in the last 150 years?
Nearly completely.
Yeah.
Nearly completely.
And
And I'm so grateful, for example, for my grandchildren, all of them, because I allowed my children to become dirty, to play outside.
Mhm.
They were allowed. So my grandchildren also, they love to play outside. Even when it's raining, they ask to go out, and they are allowed. And I'm so grateful for that, seeing around them how little it is allowed by parents
Yeah,
to get their children dirty,
yeah,
because it's a lot of work.
yeah. I mean, I remember my daughter. Um, she loved to cook in nature, and so I just made sure that she knew that some berries that she was using were actually poisonous. So you can cook with them, but just don't lick your fingers or ingest them in any which way. That might not be as much fun. And
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
Yeah, but that's education also,
Yeah.
because in nature exists this type of poison.
Hmm.
It's not a bad thing that it exists, but it's education also that,
Yeah.
yeah, as though, don't we see it? I spoke about yesterday with someone about this the products they are selling now the biological created food. But when you are reading really what's saying, they can call it biological when one of the ingredients is there present, not even for 30%. It's only 10%, and then they can call it. So now there is the tendency also, oh, but when I go buy biological produced food, then I am eating natural. And that's also a really big lie, because it's still poison, whatever.
Yeah.
Nothing is bad, but you get me. It's so manufactured food still. It's not natural.
And even just the mere fact that in the meantime, Roundup, the glyphosate that is in the Roundup, is actually in the air and gets rained down. And the rain really differentiates between, there is the boundary of that plot. They are organic and they are spraying pesticides. It rains down no matter where.
Of course, Karina.
It's not, and I don't have to make as a sudden, oh, I cannot get any organic food and I cannot, and go into creating problems and everything. It still is better than the originally sprayed, and even fruit that is sprayed against diseases, trees are sprayed. We have moved so far away, and we think we can control it.
Yeah.
But we can't.
That is the thing. We think we can control it. And even then, I'm really grateful also, because I had the luck growing up also with aunts and grandpas who had growing their own vegetables and going with natural treatments. And yeah, they educated. And even then I forgot quite a bit, because I didn't practice that for myself. But it was interesting, because it was at that time already different of many others. So yeah,
I want to bring it back to blessing. What is the effect, for instance, of blessing the food?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Giving thanks. Again, if we look at things from a linear perspective, there is no effect. Because once it has been poisoned, you can take it out of the food from a linear perspective. But what if we go from an energetic perspective, and the blessing will change the food?
Yeah.
What is there?
For sure, because you said there's something, we were about at the rain, and then the pesticides, and it is all coming down on earth, wherever it is. And it brought me something like our bodies and earth, we have the same elements also. So with the judgments we live from, which food is good, which is bad, which is poison, there we do it again, as though earth receives also that poison. And what is earth being? That it turns the molecule of that poison. So what if that is the energy of that blessing?
And what if, let's say I grow a garden and I go into the garden and I bless the earth of the garden, that area, and I don't have to go and spend hours to go all the way around blessing, but even just at one spot and let it energetically move out over the whole plot. What can change there?
Yeah, and how much is there in that blessing, as there is gratitude, as there is presence, as there is kindness, as there is respect, as there is acknowledgement. All of that is in blessing. And when we see, so even animals, children, and growing up people, when you are with someone who is that blessing from the kindness, the respect, the acknowledgement, being present, everything glows, glows and grows. When you are with someone who is always, everything is bad and you can't do this, you become down. So knowing this, how much more can we be? And are we willing to be this blessing energy?
Yeah.
Are we really willing to be it?
I mean, for me, because you just named a few energies, but the energy of blessing also includes a deep caring for.
Yeah.
It's not just gratitude.
Yeah.
It's also a deep caring for.
Yeah.
Whatever it is I'm blessing.
Yeah. And then you don't speak about the caring of, I'm doing this for you because da 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 da. Yeah. Not the caring of, oh yeah, but I know what you need, so I give you that. That's not the caring you are speaking about.
No, it's truly caring.
Yeah. And caring, true caring, is always received by earth, by plants, by animals.
Yes.
But how many people can truly receive true caring?
Yeah.
It was, and I can remember, Karina, we spoke about this in a foundation I did with you, this aspect of caring, that it brought at that time also memories of I was made wrong, like not being interested enough or too cold in my reactions or whatever. It looked like I wasn't caring.
Yeah.
And then the conversation we had at the time, I can't remember, but I really got out of that time in the foundation that the acknowledgement from, wow, but it was a caring, I am a caring, that wasn't received.
Yeah, because it didn't fit the definition and the behavior with you show caring according to this reality.
Yeah. And the true caring I am, that wasn't received.
Yeah.
But that is something we are.
Yeah.
We are. Even if it isn't received, we are still that caring.
Still yes.
And most recently, due our conversations also becoming more aware that I even care a lot more about Earth than I thought I cared.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What is that for you with caring also, because you grew up in German? It's from what I know also a cool linear way of
mental
growing up.
Way of being. Yes. And
how was that
I
for you?
priced that real estate a lot up here.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that was, that was what was valued. And
Yeah, but
it changed
with
me.
and with your memory, when as a child you blessed the plants from that caring.
Yeah.
So how much caring were you also that you perhaps still not yet acknowledged or received from, whatever?
There probably is a lot to be discovered. And
Yeah.
what is really, for me, in a way, an almost sad acknowledgement that how much do children care? And the caring gets at least talked out of them
Yeah.
because it's not the correct kind of care.
Yeah. So true, Karina. Because when a baby is born, it is still one. It is
Mhm.
one. And yeah. And I'm guilty. I know. And I'm really acknowledging that I played that part also with my children. There are a lot of things that I talked out of them.
Yeah.
Gladly, luckily, I awoke when they were still quite young, and
Mhm.
I could repair, open up a lot of things.
Yeah.
But still, as far as I see, what was taken out or closed off, matter of speaking, during their first 6 years of life, it's still interfering, and it's still their foundation from where they function from.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's not
And
always.
and on some level, I'm also saying, because from a psychological perspective, there is so much, oh, you experienced this trauma or that trauma in early childhood. At some point, you are an adult and you need to make choices.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can stay the victim, and that is a choice, or you can start changing it.
And that is so true. That is so true. And for me, myself, I had bad experience also in my life. So people who don't know me from previous lifetime, this lifetime, but my previous years, as yeah, I don't know how to call it because it's so unrealistic, but it
Yeah.
looks like that I never had problems in my life. I yeah,
Yeah.
swimmed through my life, and it's far from. So when they ask me something and I start to tell what was up in my world, then they go like their mouth more and more open, like, how is that possible that you are so energetic, so happy? So yeah, it is because it's choice. I Yeah, it's because we create, at the end we create also every day of our
Yeah.
life. So
Yeah.
also those less pleasant experience. Oh, thank you, Karina, for bringing up yesterday already this energy of blessing. So, what can we explore even more there? I'm curious.
Me too. It really it opened up a whole new compartment.
Yeah, and even now, what I discovered during
So
this conversation that I didn't allow, so I allow now for being received. Being
yeah.
received. So, yeah.
So
What can this open up more?
what can be opened up? Yeah. And how can we, dive deeper and learn more? and allow the earth to teach us. I mean, just making that commitment for me to regard earth as a teacher and allow that feedback loop. It's about the only way I can describe it.
Yeah,
That
but I get you.
getting the information from the earth, so much has changed for me because I've become suddenly aware of things that I had not looked at before.
Yeah. Yeah, looks like it wasn't up in my world also, like, huh? That and that and that.
Yeah.
It's discovering, it's really discovering.
Yeah.
Really
Yes.
a discovering world. Yeah. Yes. We go on.
Being, discovering being children and being with a benevolent mother.
Yeah. Wow. That's beautiful.
So
That's beautiful. Being with a benevolent mother. Yes.
where can we go?
Where can we go? Thank you, Karina. And we
Thank you,
will
Mama.
see next week,
And
next
yeah,
time,
until
same
next week.
place.
What are we going to talk about next week? We'll find out what
We
hits us.
will. Yes, for sure. Bye bye. Take care.
Bye bye.